So it's really great to have everybody here, and I'm really excited that you took the time out of your life to be here tonight and keep this little divine appointment that you made to get a spiritual uplift before you venture into your Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. This is going to be a different Thanksgiving for almost everyone. Usually it's the holiday that signals the beginning of the season of light, where families and friends and associates begin together for festive events and food and football and fun. And the big family Thanksgiving dinner has been a long-held tradition in this country. Harvest and prosperity is celebrated in various ways all over the globe. Not necessarily on this day. There are commemorative festivals celebrating abundance throughout Europe, Africa, South America, East Asia, and the Far East, some of which are offered to ensure the next year's crops will be plentiful and enough for the community's needs to feed everyone. Well, tonight, I'd like to travel beyond the holiday customs and celebrations to take a deeper look at the spiritual art and practice of Thanksgiving. The fourth step in our affirmative prayer, known as spiritual mind treatment, is thanksgiving. As we always treat from our demonstration, knowing that it's already done, or the realization that that for which we have affirmatively prayed has been accomplished in the law of mind, we give thanks and then we let it go, letting God do God's work. Dr. Holmes writes in a little book called Spiritual Awareness. It's like a little pamphlet that he did a long time ago. And he says, let us learn to make known our requests with thanksgiving and with acceptance. And having done this in the silent communion of our soul with its source, let us believe that the law of mind will do the rest. And in the glossary of our Science of Mind text, he says, when we speak the words of thanksgiving to God within, knowing, as scripture states, before you ask, I will answer. There is something in this attitude of thanksgiving that carries us beyond the field of doubt into one of perfect faith and acceptance and receptivity, realization. Appreciation, gratitude, and thanksgiving are the motivating powers which attract and magnify the hidden potentialities of life. And I think Dr. Holmes was right on point there. How many of us really think about giving thanks for all the good in our lives? I know for myself that some years ago, I began giving thanks for another day of life as soon as I woke up. As soon as I woke up, before I ever got out of bed, the first thought that I would bring to my mind was, thank you for this day, Spirit. And I still do that today. Now, I include gratitude as a daily spiritual practice, absolutely. But that morning thank you has started my day with praise for life and connected me with the divine essence of love that I turn to throughout the day for many years now. It's something that's so simple to do, and before you ever get out of bed, you can be saying thank you. And maybe many of you do that already. There's a very subtle difference between thanksgiving and gratitude. The nuance is very interesting, but it's one well worth understanding. Now, the dictionary defines thanksgiving as the act of giving thanks. And that seems really simple, right? Thanksgiving is an action that we, as spiritual beings, take before we have even received, as is evidenced in our treatment process. Thanksgiving opens our receptivity to our good. And to quote Dr. Holmes, the attitudes of praise and thanksgiving are salutary. They not only lighten the consciousness, lifting it out of sadness and depression, they elevate consciousness to a point of acceptance. Praise and thanksgiving are affirmations of the divine presence, the divine abundance, and the divine givingness. It is only when we live affirmatively that we are happy. It is only when we recognize that the universe is built on affirmations that we can become happy. Now, the dictionary defines gratitude as a quality of being thankful. A quality of being thankful. A readiness to show appreciation for divine kindness and to return kindness to others. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful that becomes apparent in who we are as we show appreciation for and return the kindness of God. Thanksgiving is an action we can take to affirm our gratitude, our attitude of gratitude for the good in our lives. And gratitude becomes a way of being as we show our appreciation for the gifts of spirit and return the kindness of God to others as we live our lives as spiritual beings. I cannot speak enough of the benefits of gratitude in our life, and including gratitude meditations and journaling in personal daily spiritual practice. It's certainly an incredibly important and worthwhile endeavor. Whatever time you spend in that activity is an investment that yields far beyond stock market dividends. But just for tonight, I want to emphasize the forgotten value of the action of Thanksgiving. We are all spiritual beings, having spiritual experiences every day. It is for us but to be aware, open to, and welcome the good into our lives, to welcome the blessings. And you know, sometimes we have an aversion to that word blessing from other teachings we may have been in, but for me, a blessing is a gift of love from God that shows up in so many ways. As Dr. Holmes writes, our thoughts of thanksgiving and recognition should ever go up to the divine presence. Like the wise men of old, we too need to be guided by the star of life to that holy place within us where the little child we are, the child of God, is cradled in the arms of infinite love and wisdom. Giving thanks in everything is a minute-to-minute practice of the aware spiritual being. The aware spiritual being notes the beauty of spirit in action wherever they may be, whatever the circumstances may be. Saying thank you to others who extend kindness to you. Thanking the ground you walk on for being there. Thanking the skies above for the unbound spaciousness they provide us in a very, very physical, oftentimes confining world, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. Thanking the plants and animals for their diversity and unique qualities and beauty. Spiritual beings are aware of the changes as we move into the winter season of less light and give thanks for that shift. For even in the darkest of nights, that is when the stars shine the brightest. And in the darkest, stormiest times we may encounter as individuals, we can remember to give thanks for the light that is always shining, whether we see it or not, and it is sure to appear as that star of life, guiding us to that holy place within, where we are cradled in the arms of the infinite. I'd like to close with another quote from Dr. Holmes. It's just, he wrote the most beautiful, beautiful words, and the thoughts are so uplifting. And in this time of strain and stress of not being able to gather the way that we used to, I think this is so appropriate. The attitudes of praise and thanksgiving lighten the consciousness, lifting it out of sadness and depression. They elevate consciousness to a point of acceptance. They are affirmations of the divine presence, the divine abundance, and the divine givingness. And it is only when we live affirmatively that we are happy. If we make every day a day of praise and thanksgiving, a day in which we recognize the divine bounty and the eternal goodness. And if we live today as though God were the only presence and the only power there is, we would not have to worry about tomorrow. So I invite each of us to make every day a day of thanksgiving. As we lighten our own consciousness with thanksgiving, we are the conduits of compassion, and we give that gift of kindness to everyone with whom we have contact, no matter how near or how far away they may be. And in doing so, we create a world that works for all. And so it is. And now, as is our custom, I would like to say a prayer for our service and just bring to mind that star of light, that guides us to that inner God, that inner place that cradles us, that loving, infinite presence. And just bring it to mind, whatever you call it, however you know it, it doesn't matter. It is the truth of your being, and it's everywhere. And so in this moment, bringing to mind that infinite loving source, that one infinite presence, I give thanks. I give thanks for all the good that we have received, for all the good that is yet to come. I give thanks for those blessings, those gifts of love that come directly from Spirit. I open our hearts and encourage us to awareness, to the sensitivity of the universe that is always abundantly supporting us in every way. And I speak this word for those present and those who are not within the sound of my voice, a word of abundance, not only prosperity, but an abundant life, joyful living, beauty and harmony, and the unity with Spirit that is the peace that is beyond all understanding. I speak a word for Charlotte and for Karen and for Kim right now as they take her to the hospital for some extra surgery, as they've now revealed another issue for her. And I know that she is blessed and they are blessed, and that everyone knows exactly what to do to take care of her. And knowing that this is so, I am so very grateful, and I give thanks for that. And knowing that there is one infinite loving power, I know that love always prevails. And so I simply give thanks for that, knowing that love prevails, and I release this word, this blessing of this time, directly into that living, loving law of mind that always, always, always says, yes, my beloveds, yes. And so it is. And so I must put in our little prosperity, abundance thingy here. I forgot to get it ready, so stay tuned. Because we must celebrate our abundance. Because okay, so I'm going to do this, and the prosperity statement is, and you can just take your love in your hands and let that be your gift, and go to your website and do whatever, e-news, website, mail checks, you can do whatever and have it be so abundant. As you are blessed, for as you give, you must receive, you see. It's the law of giving and receiving. And I have to speak a word of thanksgiving and gratitude for the abundance that has been demonstrated by every member in our spiritual community that has allowed this center to continue and supports activities such as this, even though that we've had times that we have not been yet be able together for a long time. The day is coming though, you watch. So taking your gift and blessing it, the words are, I am so grateful for all the blessings in my life, and I share them with love and joy. And now you'll be able to see them. I am so grateful for all the blessings in my life, and I share them with love and joy. And so it is. And now we have the last little thing that we're going to do, and it's our inclusivity candle lighting ceremony. And so Deborah, Miss Deborah, our practitioner, is going to step over there. And this is something we've been doing every week. And I have to give a shout out to Reverend Leslie Goodwin and Reverend Karen Lewis at the New Vision Center in Phoenix, Arizona. They created this ceremony for inclusion. And I think you'll find it very beautiful. So as Deborah lights the candle, we will speak a word of inclusion that follows, knowing that that candle represents everyone for whom I speak these words. We acknowledge that all people, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit, and we honor and acknowledge you wherever you are on your spiritual journey. We light a candle for all who feel isolated. We stand with you and know the presence of the One is active in your life. We light a candle for all who feel silenced. We stand with you and know that openness is here for you. We light a candle for all who feel rejected. We stand with you and know that divine acceptance is your truth. We light a candle for all who feel unloved. We stand with you and know that compassion surrounds you. We light a candle for all who feel in lack. We stand with you and know the truth of abundance in your life. We light a candle for all who feel afraid. We stand with you and know the peace that passes all understanding is with you now. We light a candle for all who feel lost. We stand with you and know that wisdom guides and leads you to where you are meant to be. And as this flame has been lit, bring yourself and another to your mind whom you want to bless right now. And just taking a moment, bring that being into your mind, into your heart. And just bless them. Give thanks that they are in your heart and your life, knowing without a doubt that your love and light heals and comforts. And so it is. And so we will have our little benediction. And so our benediction is a little bit different. I just want us to take that love that's in our hearts and that thanksgiving, that infinite thanksgiving and love, and just allow it to move. Place your hands over your hearts and just allow that loving thanksgiving to flow up from your heart, out overflowing into your hands. And when you just feel them so very, very full, just start to rub them together and activate that love and that light and that thanksgiving. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and whoosh, out it goes into our homes, our neighborhoods, our communities, around our country, around the globe, and out into the infinity of the cosmos and beyond. And so it is, my friends.